I'm Justin Merrill, and welcome to Austrian Econ Theory. This video is a reply to Alex Merced's video. This is actually the second video that I've made, and he's made two videos so far also regarding financing government through issuing equity. And I wanted to bring up a couple points that I thought of. It's been a couple days since Alex made his last video. In his video, he proposes the issuing of common stock not only as a fundraising mechanism, but as a way to commoditize power. I think that it wouldn't work quite that way, and let me explain why. In a private corporation, shareholders don't generally like dilution, and he says that this would be an incentive or a mechanism to balance power. Normally, shareholders tolerate dilution when compensation to employees in the form of issuing common stock or stock options. But aside from that, they only tolerate dilution if the company's in financial distress, because it diminishes the value of their shares. So how this would apply to the government would be difficult, because if the value of the common stock it has voting power in managing the division of government, the department, like we were talking about, if Department of Education or Department of Interior, those shareholders aren't going to want to have their power diluted, and so if they have voting rights, they're going to vote to not issue more shares. But if they aren't allowed to vote on that, like Alex said, maybe the Secretary of the Treasury would be the person who makes that decision, then that really doesn't give any incentive for the shareholders to own it. I don't see the benefit there. Like I said, maybe this would work in nonprofits. There's a very interesting power struggle going on at Cato right now over the shareholders and who owns Cato going forward, since Bill Muscanin, I think is how you pronounce his name, passed away in October. It's created a power vacuum, and the Koch brothers are trying to regain full control and change the direction that Cato's going. So this is a common or popular topic amongst us libertarians, and it's actually kind of related to the discussion we're having. So I think there's a conflict, or that would related to dilution as a power as a mechanism to disperse power, to make sure that no one has too much control of the government. It sounds like a good idea, but I think that would kill any incentive for investing in government if you know that arbitrarily your investment, the value of your investment would be wiped away. Now, there's the other thing I wanted to talk about is basically accounting. So, basic accounting equation is assets equal liabilities plus equity. And if we're talking about the government issuing equity, then we're going to have to look at its balance sheet. And there's two balance sheets I've pulled the data from. There's the flow of funds data published by the New York Fed, and then there's an annual financial position, which actually shows the comprehensive balance sheet of the government. both of these are very long reports, so I went through the effort of parsing through the data. The bottom line is the top one is the financial position report. It's an annual report put out by the GAO and written by the Treasury. So on the asset side, and this includes real property and plant and equipment, the government has $2.7 trillion in assets. On the liability side, they've got about $17.5 trillion, which gives them, negative equity of $14.8 trillion. And if you look at the flow of funds data, you get they're only dealing with the financial position, not with real property. But they are showing 1.3 trillion in financial assets for the government, and liabilities of about 11.9 trillion, which gives negative equity of 10.5 trillion. So before we could even talk about issuing positive equity, the government would have to become solvent. So yes, theoretically, governments could be solvent. They could have assets worth more than their liabilities. But I think that this poses a problem. So I admit this is a thought experiment we're conducting, but I think that we're a long ways away from any national government from being able to conduct that, with the exception of maybe China might have more assets than liabilities, but it's few and far between. Anyways, just thought I would point this out, that we kind of overlooked fundamental accounting problems that so anyways, thanks for watching.